welcome to another Carfitable Talks. As you know, we're on Thursdays now, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I almost said that wrong. And we're also on YouTube. Please join us there. We need your support on there. Hi, Deborah. How's the store doing? As you guys, I've told you before, Deborah has a really great store in Palm Desert. Is that right?
Well, Deon's
I know, I see.
Oh, and Deon's on already. So, okay, we're going to get right into it.
Dietrich Haddon is here.
Dietrich Haddon? Oh, my gosh. It's a lot of our guys. Hey, Dietrich, I've seen you doing great stuff. So, we're excited. And, let's see. Oh, I was telling you about Deborah. She has this great store in Palm Desert called... Is it called Colony Living, Deborah? I want to make sure. But anyway, she has the most fabulous clothes there. If you're ever vacationing there, you got to check out. That's my girlfriend, Deborah. Oh, thanks for the heart. Hey, how you doing?
How are y'all?
All right, Deon in the house.
I'm so glad to see you.
Oh man, so glad to see y'all. So glad.
So you're in, where are you now?
I'm in look, I'm looking around Greenville, South Carolina, but right now I'm in Shelby, North Carolina.
Okay.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, this is a dear friend of ours. I consider him one of our sons.
Definitely.
Because we've worked together, and I wrote something about you. You guys, this is going to be very exciting because just to go through Deon's journey, I can't wait. And we haven't really talked in a while, so we'll be just chatting with him. But we first met Deon through a friend who worked with us on other projects, producer and writer Gerald Isaacs.
Yeah.
Now, Gerald he never before had said, Vicki, I want you to check out somebody. Never done it. So when he said he wanted me to check you out, I said, we better check this out. This looks like it's something really good. And then when we heard your writing, I said, oh yeah, we'll sign him. And we did. We signed you right away. And so that was where you got your start.
Definitely.
And with Mack Publishing, I think that's where you got your start, is it?
It was with with CC. What is it? Capital. It was Capital. Yeah.
Capital Christian Music Group.
Yep.
Yep. That was us. Yep. That's when we were over there with them. Yep. And so, but we also know you from. You started a group called New Covenant, and you went on to RCA, and you wrote some like huge songs. Of course, you wrote the big song for Marvin Sapp, Praise Him in Advance, and my favorite song, By Myself, which I got. Did I get the title right?
You got the title right. I was like, yeah, you got it.
But don't sleep on Incredible God.
You've done so many great songs, so many. But I like By Myself. I'm sorry. That's my song because it reminds me all the time that you can't do stuff by yourself. So,
right.
So I love that song. And I mean, but in the midst of all this, and we haven't really had a chance to talk, but you had a real traumatic turn of events, and we wanted to talk about that and how you became victorious. That I think it's something that a lot of people will be excited about hearing, and how they can overcome too and be encouraged. And I'm sure it's going to be inspiring to us all. When I just learned a few more things about you this week, I'm amazed at all the things you've accomplished. And I mean, right at the peak of success, and some stuff went on. But I want to start at the very beginning of your life, like I like to do. You are from where?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
We know a lot of brothers, very talented people coming out of Connecticut.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot.
But I mean, that's where we know Gerald. Isn't Gerald Isaacs?
Yeah, Gerald's from Bridgeport too. Yeah.
But Lewis is from
Connecticut.
Lewis who?
El Reed and Lawrence, and I feel like there's
some people from the and we should introduce you to Lewis Reed into prison.
Oh, Lewis, no, you said Lewis Reed. That's my god brother. I literally that worked with Van Jones. Yeah, that's my guy. I'm talking about family. Like we stayed in my grandmother's bed to sleep. We like grew up together. Like, yeah, I literally just finished talking. I literally just finished texting him like 2 minutes ago.
Wow. Tell him you're on. I mean, we've kind of adopted him as a son, and of
Beautiful
course,
brother.
Makes sense.
Beautiful brother. I like his passion for what he's doing, and he's got a journey. He told his story.
So I guess you can introduce us to him, but you guys should check out Lewis Reed with his prison reform. He's working with Van Jones, Meek
doing
Miles,
great
JC.
things.
Great.
Yeah, really great. So you guys are all from there. Well, okay, that makes sense that you know Lewis Reed. As I'm learning about your young life, and tell us a little bit about that. But like I'm saying, yeah, of course you know Lewis Reed.
No, you know, I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut. My mom and my dad, they had me at a very young age. My mother was 14, father was 16. My grandparents basically raised me. My grandmother, my grandfather took me and some of my other cousins that were younger, and they raised us in the house, which I thought was very admirable because they didn't have to raise nobody else's kids. And they raised us in the church, and you know, Lewis Reed, everybody was at that house in the church, and we
You have got to see.
Yeah.
That's blowing me away.
Yeah, we all grew up together in the house and in the church, and you know, my grandmother, nobody does music in my family at all. Nobody did it.
Really?
So my grandmother would make us all like sing, you know, as the children's choir for the church. It was a small church. And with me, she kind of just forced me to start playing piano. She set me on the organ and would just sing like songs like "I'm a soldier in the army." She would sing songs like that and just hit the piano. I couldn't play at all, but I could hear the key of the song, and I would just hit the key of the song. And from that moment on,
Another one.
she just started pushing me. I would have to go with her when she preaches out. I would be singing solos. I hated it, didn't want to do it, but you know, fast forward to now, it's like I thank God
you
for her.
understand why.
Listen, it was just it was incredible. When I people used to say that she talks about me too. Well, she passed away, but she talked about me too much, and I told her she earned the right to talk about me because she put so much in me. She instilled so much in me. But yeah, I grew up in my grandparents' church and grandparents' house, a beautiful, beautiful family. You know, two sides. You had the street side, you had the church side.
But you know, so let's talk about that a little bit. Because so many people think, oh, when you're raised in the church, everybody's just perfect.
Oh, no.
And the truth of the matter is, we're people just like everybody else. So what was that like having both sides? Did you veer one side more than the other sometime, or by sides? What do you mean, the street? What?
Yeah. So when I say sides of streets, all of my family, from my mother's brothers, her included, were in the drug game, like heavy in the drug game. So, and I say heavy in the drug game. And my grandparents, I know that that was troubling for them to be pastors and out in the street. Their family, their kids are out there selling drugs. Some were on drugs. I remember going with my grandfather to get my aunt off of the app. She was addicted to drugs. I remember him, like, he loved his daughter so much that he would find her wherever she was, to go get her off the streets. And he believed in, like, he literally believed that his family would be saved. And, just to throw that in there, I know I just said that she was out in the streets. She's an elder now. She's a minister now after so many years. So, so that was that. My uncles and them, they've done jail time, selling drugs. My mother, same thing. And I for me as a kid, I had to kind of try to choose which lane I wanted to go in. I remember I went to New York. I can talk about this now, but I went to New York and I tried to buy. I went to Harlem to buy some weed to sell, and I had bagged it up. I had cut it up. I put it all in bags and went to school next day and tried to sell everything. When I came back with what I didn't sell, my uncles had took my weed from me. Now they were selling weed and selling their own drugs, but they took it from me because they said that they didn't want me to be out here, out there doing it. And I was upset because I lost a lot of money that day. But I had people. I did some of the same things that they did, but for some reason I always kind of found my way back. Back, and I think that's the prayers of my grandmother. I was like the last one, so it's like I think my grandmother and them just had this They just was like, no, you're not gonna be one of them. So
Yeah.
I believe my grandmother, my grandfather were just praying so hard, but definitely it was a hard struggle trying to decide if I wanted to. I never really wanted to sing gospel music, but it was a hard struggle trying to figure out if I wanted to do this church thing or if I wanted to be on the streets. But when I seen people go to jail, actually when I went to jail myself, I realized the jail life wasn't for me. So
I didn't know you went to jail. What was that about?
That was so dumb. It's so crazy. I graduated on a Sunday and I was in jail on Saturday. I graduated from college and I was in general population on a Friday night. I was driving back from student teaching. I was driving from Delaware to Connecticut. I was doing student teaching in Delaware, and I was trying to pump gas, get gas in my car in New Jersey, and I told the guy that my wallet was in the back of my trunk, which it was. I had it in my trunk. I asked him if I could pull my car up because it was a long line. I said, can I pull my car up to get my wallet out so you don't have to wait? He said yes. But when I did it, this is when 9/11 had first happened.
Right.
So it was a lot of, I won't call, I say Arab. They all came around my car. They literally surrounded my car and was, cussing at me, telling me to give them the money and yelling. And, we had an altercation. And I heard the guy say he was going to call the cops, but I didn't think anything of it. I'm driving down the Jersey Turnpike. The officer gets behind me. He doesn't turn on his lights. I'm just driving, and I move to the next lane because he doesn't make no sound. I'm thinking I'm going too slow. I move over again. He follows me to both lanes, and then I finally pull over, and they have the guns drawn out at me, and he was like, "Get out the car."
Get every day.
Listen, this is literally before everybody started videotaping and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's always been happening. Brother.
Exactly.
I got my own videotape too.
All right. See, he had the gun out on me, and he was like, "Get out the car," and I was like, "No, I'm not getting out the car." I was like, "You can call whoever you're gonna call." I was like, "I'm a teacher." I was like, I just finished student teaching. I was like, "I'm not getting out the car. You're not killing me today." I was like, "You can call your supervisor, call whoever." I argued with him for a good 25 minutes. 25 minutes, there's about 4 of them with their guns drawn out at me trying to get out the car. I was charged with eluding the police, possession of a weapon, theft.
Did you have a weapon, brother?
I had a little weapon.
I
had a little weapon. But
the hood got to protect himself.
Listen, you already know. So I went to general population in New Jersey. I had the orange suit with the orange shoes and the white bottoms. I had a cellmate that after I seen him downtown in on South Street in Philly, maybe 4 years later, ran into him. I thought I'd never see him again. But at the end of the day, the case was dropped and everything was fine. So I knew jail life wasn't for me from that point.
God, I just want to
have that experience.
I want to thank God right now that you're living.
Definitely.
Because it didn't have to be that way.
My college roommate, he in there laugh. My Let's Talk Love and Life. He laughing because he know the story.
and Keandra Lockett said, "You don't look like what you've been through."
Exactly.
And this isn't even the
he said, "No weapon formed against them shall prosper."
It's a blessing when God won't let you prosper in doing wrong.
Amen.
That's it.
Because
I grew up in Detroit. God would not let me prosper and do it wrong. And I said,
Clyde tried to sell drugs
I'm
one
gonna leave all
time,
that stuff alone.
and God told him no.
It just doesn't work out for us.
It doesn't work.
It won't work.
It won't work.
It won't work.
That work, God does that too.
Oh, thank God. But I mean, when you think of the things that young men, especially young Black men, go through and what they're around. I mean, you started singing at 9 years old, and you went to college, I guess. So what college did you go to? And
so I
tell me more about the student teaching.
I went to the first historically Black college ever, called Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. Yes. I graduated with a degree in elementary education and a minor in music. Yes, definitely. I got to Lincoln. I didn't have the grades to get into Lincoln. I didn't have the grades from coming out of high school. And what happened was a lady named Miss Tanya Kelly, who was my music teacher. She had me create a jazz piece, a classical. She had me read a classical piece, and we recorded it, and we sent it to Hampton, Howard, and Lincoln. And Lincoln was the first person to accept me, and they let me in on the conditional acceptance. And from that moment on, that's how I got my degree from Lincoln.
All right, praise God.
Yeah.
I mean, guys,
So your gift made a way for you.
Definitely, the gift definitely made a room.
wow,
Man, Deon, that's so dope.
Praise
I
God.
see how I didn't, you know, when we signed you as a writer, I didn't know any of this kind of stuff about you at all. It's just kind of
I'm glad we didn't run a background check.
you might have said, I don't know, but I'm gonna be a little messy now. You know, Vicki has her messy segment. Now, well, this isn't messy. This is something that happens to a lot of people. You are a single father, and you have a beautiful son. There is no way you can deny that child. That is
my boy.
Shaboy.
What's his name? Shaboy?
Deon.
Oh,
He
oh,
said
he's
that's
Deon
my boy.
Jr.
That's my
that's
boy.
my boy. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's something else people don't talk about a lot. But in the church, there are many people, our pastors, our music directors, and just a lot of people who've been living life and are single mothers and single fathers. And we need to start talking about that more instead of pretending it's not going on and talking about how you get through something like that. So tell me how that all went and being in the church and where people saying things, because women in the church get dogged out. They get dogged out. They call them to the front of the church and make them, you know, confess that they got pregnant. But guys don't go through anything.
Crazy thing is, my entire life, my mother would tell me stories about what happened when she was 14. When she was 14. My grandfather was a bishop. They was in an organization in this organization. They tried to make my mother stand up in front of the church and apologize. My grandfather basically was like, "No, my daughter's not doing that." He stood up for her, didn't do it. But I always heard this. I always heard the stories. So I was nervous to even get in a situation where I was going to have a baby out of wedlock, because I didn't want to deal with that. But then you fast forward, I become a recording artist, a gospel recording artist at that. And you know, this happened. I would say I definitely was ridiculed by the church. I remember getting a message from someone, someone that actually had a baby out of wedlock. Sent me a message saying, you can come to our church and apologize in front of the church if you need to. Now, mind you, she had a baby, but she just put a message in my DM and said, you know, you can come to apologize if you need to repent at my church. And I was like, I'm not repenting to no man. I'm not repenting to nobody, you know, out here. I said, my repentance goes to God. It doesn't go to anybody else. And I explained that. So, you know, I went through that. If anything, if I could do that whole situation over, I was so much under pressure from like just what not even just pressure from the people, pressure on myself because of what I thought all these years. My son's mother, Heather, I made her not do certain things just so it wouldn't be looked at. I kind of like killed the whole goodness of the pregnancy based off of what, and you know, I constantly, you know, if I could do that over and apologize to her, not make her go like deal with all of that, I would do that. But because I was doing what I was doing and I was out here I guess on the public eye, it was just so much pressure. But you know, a lot of people that was giving me all this public pressure had babies out of wedlock. They was doing the same thing. They hid stuff. But you know, this is happening. This is what's happening, and it's real life. It's happening, and we shouldn't ridicule. It's like I don't even believe in, to be honest, I don't believe in the whole aspect of sitting a woman down or sitting people down. I don't believe in that. Because I feel like, why would you sit them down? Like, you can talk to them and get them situated, but you pushing them further. I feel like you're pushing them further away from the church. There's another way that we can handle it. I just think that, you know, as Christians, we literally handle a lot of things wrong, especially this kind of situations. We handle them very, very wrong.
You know, if you look at Tammy Haddon's Instagram last week, she dealt with this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but she really laid in on it and said, you know, we gotta do things better because people are turning away. And I mean, I don't think it's wrong for someone, a pastor or a counselor, something, to take you aside and say, Deon,
Yeah.
look, this is what's happening. How are we going to deal with this?
Exactly.
And bring everybody in and restore and really, do you have enough this? Is this happening? Is that happening? Where is she staying? You got diapers? You know, it's not that we're condoning and saying this is lovely, but this is a child of God. You're a child of God.
Exactly.
Let's deal with this.
This is where we are. Let's deal with it.
Yeah, I hope by us speaking out, because a lot of people have been damaged. It's not that we're saying it's
we're not saying it's right. We're definitely not saying it's right.
But there's nothing wrong with your son. He's perfect.
Exactly perfect. Now what I got into was probably wrong, but literally he's perfect. Yeah. So you know, I just think, like I said, I think sometimes as Christians we act as God. We act as if we put everybody in heaven or we put everybody in hell. And I think that literally is destroying us every day, daily. Destroying us
daily. We need to operate in grace as we've been
exactly
grace.
There's a way to let somebody know they're wrong, and not let them know they're wrong, but after you let them know, how do we get them to how do we restore them? How do we get them back?
How do we restore them?
That's what we should be about.
Yeah, show love. I believe that. Now I'm gonna get real controversial, but for homosexuality, for babies out of wedlock, for depression,
everything,
divorce, all of it, we need to be restoring people and loving them. Because people are living real life out here.
Yes,
and it's difficult.
You talk about divorce. I have friends right now that the church pushed these people to get married, and now when they got divorced, they don't want to have nothing to do with them. It was the church that pushed them to get married. Now that they're getting divorced, they don't want to have nothing to do with them. We got to stop doing stuff like that.
Because they treat that as restoration. That if you guys got pregnant, or you guys doing these things, you know, it's better to, you know, send the, you know, not to burn. So they make people get married that aren't really prepared for marriage at all. Don't really like each other. Don't like each other like that. Don't have any intimacy that's being developed in their relationship outside. You know, it's messing things up.
But I think though that I don't think it's messing things up. I think shows like what we're doing right now, being honest and really talking about this stuff so people can think about it instead of pretending that everything's okay, I think is the way to go. Because when people talk about church hurt, this is some of the reason that they had church hurt. But I wonder, how do you stay saved in the midst of all these kind of things? I mean, is it just because I know I'm saying it kind of satirically, but is it because you're a gospel artist that you stand with the Lord? I know that's not true, but I know people may ask that. But how do you maintain being wanting to?
I think what I've learned is sanctification is a daily process, and it's a constant walk. So there might be days I'm not maintaining. There might be days I am maintaining. But at the end of the day, the only one that can judge me for it is Christ. And I think that's the issue. I feel like with as a gospel artist, it's like if I wanted to have a glass, I've had a glass of wine on my one of my pictures, and somebody hit me like, somebody be like, oh, you drink wine? Yeah, I might drink wine here and there. Like, I think that we literally, a lot of us are not even living our lives based off because we are so scared of what other people will say. So I would say for me, the Bible says in Romans 10:9, if thou shalt confess with thy mouth, believe in thy heart, then you shall be saved. I'm confessing, I'm believing, I am saved. I believe that the daily walk of sanctification and being sanctified, and it's a daily process. And there's days that I'm going to be on the up and up, and there's days I'm going to be on the down. But at the end of the day, I have a forgiving God. I have a God that restores, and nobody else can really kind of put me in a box anymore. Now, when I was younger, I was nervous. I was scared. Now it's just like, look, you're going to get Deon that God created. And, you know, and he comes with all these flaws. He comes with everything.
And we're not saying sin is right and to go
No.
and sin.
We go from glory to glory, as they say. We as long as we're pressing forward.
Exactly.
I think that's the main key is how are we pressing forward, and to me that's important.
Yeah, making steps. That's it. Literally making steps daily. And the thing about it is, even the wrong steps, you might be making some wrong steps, but every step is ordered by God.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know where, it's like, I don't understand how we quote certain scriptures. If he says your steps are ordered, there were some bad steps that you made. And some of those bad decisions that you made help create who you are, help you literally become who you are today.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say that for my own life. Some of the bad decisions that I made, because I had to learn the lesson in those steps, made me who I am.
Yeah, so God allowed you to make those steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but he had you. He said, I got you, though.
Exactly.
And don't do it again.
Now, if I do it again, that might be on me. Now,
I would say so, brother. But, on to my messy part.
Okay.
Which is kind of what we've been talking about anyway, is so you're single.
Okay.
And so what you doing about dating, brother? You know, like how you navigating through that?
Well, I'm chilling at the present. I'm on chill right now. I'm
most of the brothers
on,
we talk to are on chill.
I'm focused on, to be honest, because I've dealt with so much in the last 3 or 4 years, I'm focused on building wealth for my son, my family. I'm focused on all the ideas that I never had a chance to get out. I'm in the middle. I just literally transitioned to another state. I'm trying to focus on that. You know, one thing I know is that you know, if I divert my focus to you know, dating and doing all this stuff like that, I probably won't get everything I need to get done. Not to say I won't go out on no dates or I won't do certain things. But look at my mother just joined in. Look at her face. That's my mother. Joanne.
Hello, Mom.
How you doing? I got a follow-up to this. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I think for me right now, my focus is on just building where I am right now. I'm at a critical age. I'm at a critical stage in my life.
How old are you?
I don't want to tell y'all that.
Okay, brother.
You know what it is. The internet can't lie to us.
I'm somewhere near in the 40s. Like, you know,
somewhere in that area.
All right.
Somewhere in there.
I understand, because my age is up there too, so I can probably be your grandmama.
First off, you look great, and the way y'all do y'all TikTok videos, nobody can tell y'all anything about your age.
See the people see.
That's right.
You see them dancing and acting a fool.
Listen, you letting everybody know that. Look, I'm young. I'm still rocking. So
that's right. And we love to dance, and we will dance to Christian music too. We love to dance. But so you're not dating right now, and I get that. Mm-hmm. You're concentrating on what you got to do. I mean, if anybody had a right to, you have a right to. And I want to get into this thing that happened to you. Many people know, but some people don't. So I'd like you to take us through your health journey and how that started. Because when I saw it online, Deon, I was trying to get a hold of you, and like I said, I didn't think I had the right number. I didn't realize back then I could DM you, so I'm not sure I'm doing everything right. But I was very, very concerned. So tell us all about that, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. I tell a story all the time, but TC Clay and my sister Shantae, they both had passed away of different symptoms. My sister had sickle cell, and I think TC, something happened with sleep apnea. Something happened with sleep apnea, and they were around my age. So one day I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna get checked out because people around my age are passing away. I went to this doctor that was a family doctor, black doctor, and my son's mom would always tell me, yeah, your doctor's good, but I don't think he checks you thoroughly. She would always say something about it. But I was like, he's a family doctor. He got pictures of my family up in here. Like, I really, I like him, you know. I went to him, and he said, Deon, you know, your liver levels are high. He said, we don't know why. He said, do you drink alcohol? So I said, no, I don't drink alcohol like that. I said, but I might drink wine here and there. He was like, you know, he said, let's just see next week how it looks. Came back next week, they still were high. And he said, you know, you're getting older. He said, you're too young for a colonoscopy. That was his exact words. He said, you're too young for a colonoscopy. He said, I'm not going to give you one. He said, what I would like you to do is, you know, just monitor your, monitor and just, you look fine. You're doing all right. He was like, just come see me in about six months. I am not spooky Christian. I'm not spooky. You know, I don't do like some of the stuff that I see people do. I left that doctor's office because I was like, I didn't want a colonoscopy anyway. You know, I didn't want to go through that. So I went to my car, and when I sat in my car, I literally heard, God say, go back upstairs and schedule a colonoscopy.
Thank God.
You know, I got out the car, I went up there, and I asked for the doctor, and he said, I told you you wasn't, you're too young. And I said, no. I said, I know what you said. I said, but I need to get the colonoscopy. When I got the colonoscopy, you know, I don't let my mother, who's on here, I don't let her get in my affairs and my health affairs and business affairs and stuff like that. She got the doctor's number somehow. I don't know how she got it.
Sure did. That's right,
she got the doctor's number somehow. And they had said when I woke up that they had found a mass, but they wouldn't tell her, what the mass meant or anything like that. But she was so nervous. She called the doctor from that visit. She called him for a week every day. To get some type of information. I didn't know she was doing this. I was just waiting to hear. On Black Friday, I think it was like 2017. On Black Friday, she got a call back from the doctor, and the doctor said, "I'm not supposed to tell you over the phone, but your son has cancer." And my mother's she said, "Because I'm your mother."
Because you're my son.
Because I'm your mother. I love it.
She said, so she gives me the phone. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm talking to him. I'm trying to ask, well, where do we go from here, doctor? And he was just like, we're going to run some tests and we're going to try to figure out where you are. By this time, my mother is in the living room. She done called most of my family. We got to get Deon this. He's going to have this. And he has cancer. And like she just goes crazy at times. I closed the door of my bedroom, which I never do. I closed the door of my bedroom, and this is no lie, I grabbed my grandfather's Bible, one of those big Bibles. I grabbed it, and I flipped it open. I just flipped it. Something just said flip it open, and it landed on like Mark 18, I think, where it says, you shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. And I seen oil. I had oil that my grandfather left me from 2002 that he left me before he passed away, and I took the oil and I started praying for myself.
That's
literally praying for myself in the room. And my mother is looking, she comes in and she's like, well, what are you doing? I was telling her, like, this is all I know to do. Like, this is what I see my grandparents do. Like, this is what, and I had a show with J.J. Harrison that night. And she said, you still gonna go out and sing? Yeah, because this is what I know. Is worship keeps me alive. Worship, it means something, like, it does something for me. So I went, I did the show. The following day, 2 days later, we found out it was stage 3, colon cancer. And, I didn't know what to expect. The doctor said there was so many things that could happen. He didn't know where it came from. Nobody in my family literally had it. But side note, on the other side is my father. The same time I had cancer, he was battling cancer. He was battling thyroid cancer at the time. So we were both battling 2 different types of cancer. I'll tell you about that at the end of the story of how that brought us together. But I literally found out stage 3 cancer, and I did a video. I didn't know if I was going. I seen how the church people treated Eddie Long when he started getting sick. They were saying he had this, he had that. They didn't know what the truth was, but they just was tearing him apart. So I was like, God, if I lose hair and I start losing weight, they're gonna say I got this. So I was like, let me just share with them what I got. Yeah. I didn't know that when I shared this, that it would go viral and it would literally. I just wanted prayer. I just just pray for me. This is what I have. I didn't want them to diagnose me with anything else. Say I had this. I shared it and it literally went viral. I mean, people from Japan, from Africa, from the Philippines were hitting me, praying. People that I knew were atheists started praying for me. And Gerald had and Tammy had, and they threw this big, huge concert with Tasha Cobbs and Travis Green and JJ. They did this concert. We turned away so many people. They threw and raised some money for me. And Kirk at the Stellar Awards. he held up a sign that said, "Pray for Deon Kipping." It was literally all over the place, all over the world. And you know, I could not believe like what was literally happening. While all this is happening, the doctor is saying, by this time next year, you might not be here. This is what the doctor. I remember telling the doctor. He said to me, he said, you know, you haven't lost any weight. He said, and you haven't lost that much hair. And I said to him, I said, you know, I don't think you really understand the blood that runs through my body. That's what I explained to him. I was like, this is a different kind of blood that runs through my body. Like I said, I really believe in the healing power of Jesus Christ. And he was amazed by me not losing any weight. He was amazed that I didn't lose any hair. But he kept speaking like everything was just always negative. Like, and I was just like, no, there's no way. And I
whose report are you gonna believe?
Listen, whose report are you gonna believe? That's literally where I was at. I had no other choice but to believe. It's like this. I had a 5-year-old son.
Yes.
That I wanted to see. You know, I didn't grow up with my father. I wanted to see my son. I wanted to see him grow up. And I asked God that day. I said, look, you're gonna have to do something because I need to have my son here. My son would come in the house. My son would come to my house and he would say, he would try to play with me. The doctor said, you can't pick him up. You can't run with him. You can't do certain things with him. And I felt so helpless. But when he came in the house, I would do games like, I would play games like who can run the slowest. I would do certain things just so that I can literally keep engaged. And to be honest, what you said, Deon he wasn't the mistake. He actually was the blessing. He's the reason literally why I'm still here, because I prayed that I would live for him. I prayed that I would be here for him. And I had
This is during chemotherapy.
Chemo, radiation,
the whole bit, yes.
The whole bit. I mean, I had the radiation pills, I had chemo, I had the port in my chest. I had an ileostomy bag attached to my stomach.
Wow.
My son called it the cast. He said, Dad, when you get this cast off, he would say this to me. He said, when you get this cast off, he said, will you be able to go to Chuck E. Cheese with me? I said, yeah. He said, Dad, when you get this every day, he said, when you get this cast off, will you be able to play football outside with me? I said, Deon, when I get this cast off, I promise you. He kept asking me, and I say this all the time. The reason why he kept asking me every day is because he believed in what I told him.
Yes.
And if anybody's watching, I always tell this, you got to keep asking God as if you believe in what he's saying. He's your father, just like Deon. I'm Deon's dad. Literally, he asked his father because he kept believing the fact that I kept telling him something that I believed was true. And I believed the report of the Lord, so I kept asking God, you're going to have to heal me. You're going to have to make a way. And literally, when the doctor said to me, like, yo, you're cancer-free, the nurses, everybody was surprised. Everybody was literally looking around like because I believed that they didn't think I was going to make it. There was times I almost didn't believe. But I believe, again, the prayers of the righteous, the people that prayed, when, you know, that knew about the story. I believe my son was praying even on his own. Yeah, he was praying. My grandmother, who is no longer here, but I believe that she definitely prayed. My mother, everybody was praying. And I remember telling my grandmother, and I know this, I get so excited telling this story, but
I'm excited too.
Listen, I remember telling my grandmother years ago, the miracles that y'all seen years ago, we don't see no more. I would tell her all the time. I said, you know, because my grandmother would be like, we would cut the cast off their arm and hang it on there, and it would be a sign that we have victory. Yep. I would tell her like we don't see those no more. And I believe this to this day. That God said, I'm gonna make you the miracle. Since you don't believe, I'm gonna make you the miracle. And I believe that's literally what he did, because I mean, when I say I had atheist friends that were literally praying for me, that I'm like, why are you praying and you don't believe? I was like, I gotta try something. This is literally what they would say to me. I gotta try something. And I believe that people got closer to God based on the fact that what I was going through. My son, who didn't want to pray, didn't want to do music, didn't want to do anything. He literally was praying every night, like heal my dad every night. And I'm here. So, you know, the devil is a liar. The doctor's a liar. I'm here now, and you know, and I'm gonna do everything while I got breath in my body that God has put in me. You know. That's the story.
Hallelujah! Thank you, Jesus. I see James Black just came on.
Yep, my boy James.
Oh, hallelujah! Didn't you guys meet from
From you.
Centric and Lily Mack.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That story that's a powerful testimony.
That's a powerful testimony.
And sometimes it reminds me of when Vicki was pregnant with my other daughter, and they didn't think she was going to make it. And how we, pressed God to believe God.
Yeah, they said I was going to have to abort the baby and everything.
And I prayed to God. I said, Lord, now I ain't telling you what to do. Okay, but this is what I want to happen. This is how I wanted to go down. And I'm going. I'm not trying to change your mind. I said I was going to fast. I fasted like 2-3 days. I said, I'm fasting. Now, I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm fasting to let you know how serious I am about this prayer.
Yeah.
It's not no play prayer here.
That's it.
And God answered. So praise God.
Well, and the people are saying cancer is defeated. Amen.
Yeah.
And Ken is saying cancer shall never return. Amen.
And, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
No. You will see no more.
No, that's it.
So those Egyptians, you ain't going to see them no more.
Exactly.
Glory to God.
Exactly.
That's powerful. And I mean, that's made your ministry so much more powerful. And I keep saying cancer, it won't work.
Kind of conflation. Right?
Yeah, I'm conflating two songs, as they say on the news. Speaking, and on a lighter note, we said we want to talk about some topical events, and so I want to know what you think about this NBA championship, brother, because I've got opinions, and you got opinions.
I'm so hurt. I literally wanted Chris Paul to win the championship. I don't know.
We did.
I don't know what happened. I don't know how everything broke down. But once they beat the Lakers, I'm thinking like this is about to be it. Like this is it. And I don't know. I literally don't know what happened. I don't know if this is gonna. He said, "Go Lakers." I don't know.
Go Lakers, yeah, because he's coming to Lakers.
I don't know.
I don't know if there to talk to him.
I don't know if he's ever gonna get a chance to go back there. But I will commend him. He did an amazing job. Doing what he could do. But not in a million years would I think that we'd be having Milwaukee Bucks as champions. They don't even sound right saying.
Look, Milwaukee's got a great team.
Yeah.
They do.
They got a great team. I give it to them. But I was going with Phoenix.
Yeah. I was going with Phoenix all day. I just didn't. It just sounds funny to say the Milwaukee Bucks are national champions.
Yeah. And Bishop Hines got a shout out from what's his name? Come on, Magic Johnson. Johnson shouted out DJ Hines and Bishop Hines and was like, "I know my people are real happy right now."
I believe it. And then one of the owners, the pastor,
right,
the lady,
Milwaukee.
the lady from one of the ladies, she's a pastor. She's one of the owners.
She's one of the owners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Is that the woman that owns McDonald's chain and all that?
She might. I know she has a video that says, "I preach, I sing, I shout." She does this video.
And she's also very wealthy and owns a lot of McDonald's.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name right now, but she's a very powerful woman. Yeah, and I saw her with one of the
holding it from the Louis Vuitton case. But that tells you the power of prayer.
Exactly. You know what?
Obviously, some people praying.
But there were some people praying on both sides.
Well,
there are people praying.
That's what I said. I said, hey, Miss Vicki, maybe our prayer didn't go through. We didn't.
Y'all didn't pray hard.
Our prayer didn't go through.
Y'all didn't do your prayer time the way y'all needed to.
Yeah, we got to increase our prayer time.
Increase your prayer time.
I'm going to go on to another thing we were kind of chatting about, and I wanted to talk to you about these Karens.
Oh, man.
What do you think about the Victoria's Secret Karen and all these Karens?
This is my thing. I really, really am grateful that everybody's using the camera phone now. I think that these Karens have been doing so much dirt for so long, like hitting us and then crying about it, doing something to us and then crying about it, and then the cops come and rescue them. They're nosy. They're just in our business. I'm just glad that we're able to videotape them now and kind of like, we've been able to, but I'm just glad that it's being shared literally for people to see, because we've been dealing with this for years. Like, we've been dealing with Karens for years. We've been on our
since
own
slavery.
property. since slavery. Exactly.
Folks
minding our own business, and they just come and just literally like, oh, yeah, exactly. So I'm just grateful that that people are starting to see these things. I don't know how much change it's making, but I am grateful that people are starting to be exposed. Like I seen one with the dog, a guy walking a dog outside, and the girl tried to say the dog bit her or bothered her, and he has it on camera. Yeah. It's like, I mean, I just think that it's getting outlandish, and I'm just glad that we have videos.
It's always been, it hasn't changed. I had a Karen a few months ago. I got out of my car, and then she got out and kind of hit my car. She got in the middle and said, you hurt me. You hit me with the car. I said, excuse me. I said, girl, if you don't get your behind back in the car, Karen, and stop this stuff right now. And she did. She got back in the car. That could have gone a whole different way. You about
to let her have it.
Baby, I was like, Karen, not today. I got shopping to do, and you need to get your behind back in the car.
Yeah.
And I gotta really, call on Jesus sometimes, because it wants to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
All wrong, But it's like, Karen, get your behind. That's what I said, behind.
We got a Karen proposal photo shoot where she saves him from slavery and brings him to take over the plantation and makes him take over the plantation.
I'm trying to figure out how the black man and his family allowed that to happen.
He's in chains.
He's in chains. She takes him out of the chain and then brings him to the position of honor
in a top hat
at the plantation.
We used to call him Miss Ann.
Yes.
Miss Ann is.
That's how the Karenness has evolved to where your wedding photos have this story about the Karen saving you.
We're talking about, is that on TikTok or where was it seen?
It's
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Well, it's a mindset that a lot of times people have to get out of. And when you grow up in it, in that environment, and praise God, we're growing out of that mindset that.
Well, people aren't having it anymore. They're not going for it anymore.
I really think that this new age group is changing. Like it's literally, like they're literally going after this stuff. Like, no, even with the guy, there was a video where the guy was messing with the black boy, and he told his address, and all the black people showed up.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, we pulling up, like we pulling up.
But he said, y'all can come see me. I live at da-da-da-da, and they showed up.
You get what you asked for. That's it. Exactly.
Well, I'm just praying. I mean, I think that's one of the things, especially the church, those of us that are saved, this is another area we need to get back into and really begin to deal with these issues. Like I said, people having children out of wedlock, it's happening a lot. Homosexuality,
a lot.
People still don't really want to talk about.
No.
And and this whole racism thing, so many white evangelicals, not all white evangelicals, that's not what I'm saying, but there's quite a few who are saying that get over it. Slavery happened a long time ago. Get over it. And so these are some of the issues we're dealing with. Now, you are in a church now that is it a mixed church? What is the name of the church that you're part
of? Redemption Church. And it's Redemption East. He has a church on the West Coast. But I'm at Redemption East in Greenville. Pastor Ron and Hope Carpenter. Great people. Great, like just literally. I remember, it's crazy because when I moved from Connecticut, my father said, that you're going to deal with a lot of questions having white pastors now. And I was like, no, I know I'm not. I was like, I'm not going to deal with it. My first radio interview for my single, how do you feel about being, I was like, dang, y'all ain't waste no time. Ain't waste no time. But the crazy thing, what I love about Pastor Ron, and Pastor Hope, even in this community, I went to the tailor. I went to a tailor out here, and they asked me what church I was a part of, and I said, Redemption Church, and they was like, the black guy, and I was like, no, the white guy. They was like, no, the black guy. He does everything in the black community. He helps the community out. He does so many different things out here. We don't look at him. You know, they literally, he didn't say this to me. They said this about him everywhere I went. I had a conversation with him even during Black History Month. I was like, you know, what are we doing, you know, in regards to Black History Month and certain things? What are we doing with this racial tension? And what I like about him is he does not run from the hard conversation. Okay. He doesn't run from it. He literally gives great dialogue. He has so much respect for the culture and what we do, what we bring to the table. His bishop is T.D. Jakes. You know, that's his bishop. But Ron Carpenter, literally, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak on other white pastors, but coming from Bridgeport and being in the black community and being a strong black man, Ron Carpenter, I have not seen a racist bone. I have not seen. He's helped. He's been a great man, not only just for me, but literally throughout this community that I'm just starting to learn people. They don't have to tell me any lies or anything about him. They literally tell me the truth about who he is, and there's nothing that has been said about him that speaks to you know, him not being involved in the racial fight. You know,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's good because it always gives me pause, especially in Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. South Carolina,
definitely. Yeah, when I came in, South Carolina, I when they told me about moving here, first off I was like, no, I'm not moving to no South Carolina. I'm not moving at all. I'm not moving to South Carolina.
I don't know people down there.
Listen, I came here two times. I came here with Kurt for a tour, and I came here I wrote two songs for Tasha Cobbs, and she had recorded it at his old church. That's the only time I came here. I never hung out here, had nothing to do with it. And they said Greenville, and I was like, nah, I don't think that's for me. But when I came out here and I spoke to him and started dealing with him, you know, it literally changed my perspective. I would have never moved to Greenville ever in life.
I know that says a lot, man.
Our friend Tanis Matthews says that he's one of the best preachers, and that means a lot coming from her.
Oh yeah.
And she said, I wish there was Redemption West in LA.
In
LA? Said a lot.
In LA, boy.
It might be one day. It might be.
You know, so what do you do there?
So I'm on staff there as one of the head worship leaders. So it's me. Gerald Haddon is there with me. Yeah, Gerald Haddon is there with me. Tammy is there. She sings worship with me.
He's commuting between Atlanta and.
Listen,
he comes every week.
You gotta do for the body.
Yeah, he comes him and Tammy come up every week from Atlanta every week.
Wow, okay.
But that just shows you how, it shows you how really, like, you know, Pastor Ron believes in the ministry. Like, so he's had us all come into this city, and we're making such impact. You know, and he believes in the ministry. Even this week coming, he's flying us to now y'all to Sausalito. Is that what it is? Sausalito. He's flying us to Sausalito for a writing session with both campuses to write songs together and kind of like build a catalog of songs for the Redemption Church. So so many things are happening. I'm just grateful about it.
Wow, that's great. Now the Huddle, you've got this.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about. Let's huddle up.
The Huddle. We might need to talk offline too about this. But the Huddle worship is it's literally a collective of worship leaders that some of them I didn't even know that well. I called them personally on a FaceTime just like this by word of mouth. And I said, I'm doing this thing where I want to grab a bunch of worship leaders, singers, people that write songs, some that don't. I want to put them together. I want to rent out an Airbnb. I want to literally put us all together and worship together, write some songs together. And from that, God gave me this thing called the Huddle. And when I think of football, basketball, you go to the Huddle to get direction. You go to the Huddle to get instruction. Yes. And I think that there's a lot of worship leaders that are wounded warriors. Like they literally have been singing and they don't have no help. They don't have nobody, you know. So I wanted to grab a collective because I believe that we're better together. So we put together, I did this thing. I literally during COVID, I gathered all of these people, about 15 people. We rented out a house and I split everybody in different rooms and we wrote some amazing songs. Some of them had never written songs. Some of them didn't know what publishing was. Some of them had no idea of any of this stuff. So also, I'm also teaching them like what publishing is, what the art of songwriting is, like what do you have to do these things. So it's like almost like a mentoring thing as well. But for some reason, this is growing so big and it's moving so fast, and I think that it's going to be something incredible. And I'm just looking, you know, I'm doing this on my label, which is the Underestimated Group right now. And I'm pushing forward, and we're doing so many great things. We just recorded two or 3 weeks ago. We just did our second live recording, and we're about to drop an album at the end of August. And we're not stopping. We're gonna have writing sessions every other month, and it's gonna be something, and it's gonna grow. There's some other things that I can't share that's gonna be happening.
Okay, that's good. That's all right.
But the Huddle worship is just something that is incredible. It's something fresh. It's something new. All nationalities are included in this.
That's the new way.
It's
that's
huge.
the new way. Yeah, that was something I always wanted to do. We didn't really get to it, but I knew that was going to be the future because it needs to look like heaven.
Yeah.
You know, and because the black church, black gospel, the white church, that is nonsense has got to stop.
Now you were doing 1NC, right? That was
yes, that was the closest we got to it.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. That you were literally like a catalyst, kind of like for this, you know.
Yeah, that was Kirk Franklin. We really wanted to. And get people from around the world because Claude is from Haiti, and you know, with all the things going on in Haiti, and we wanted to just include more people, but I see it's happening, and so I think it's really, really terrific.
Please stay tuned because it's definitely just the beginning. Like we're just literally getting started.
Well, you know, I was really down about faith-based music, but I can feel it. It's starting to bubble over into new things. I think people were trying to do the things we did, and it's a new season. Who was I talking about that?
New day.
God is doing a new thing.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The things from the past, and I mean, it's not that we aren't still intelligent people and stuff like that, but God is doing a new thing, and I'm so excited to see you being a part of it.
Yeah,
it's new people, new generation. Everybody's have a different perspective. You got to do a new thing to reach them.
There's been so many things that I've wanted to do, even signed to a label. They just didn't see. They just didn't get. They didn't want to get behind. And I think sometimes you have to kind of like step away and kind of like if God is giving you something to do, you got to kind of like I commend you guys. You guys stepped out and you did so much on your own and built one of the most amazing companies that the world has ever seen. I think that there's more people that will follow your leading. Like,
I hope so.
And that's
I really hope so.
You know, that's literally what I would like to do. Like I've always wanted to be a record exec. I've always wanted to
God bless you, baby.
Be behind the scenes. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. But
God bless you. Well, but you know, I think the thing that hurts about it is that excuse me, you help support, you make some people millionaires and stuff, and then they're not, I don't want to say they're not grateful. That's a hard way to say it, but you know, some people just or they took my publishing, or they did this, they did that. No, it's business.
It's business.
It's business, and you want to be with people that do a good job at it. So I'm excited. What was James Black talking about? You selling tambourines as well?
He been calling me a pastor because I got this bookshop. I'm at my friend Randy Boyder's church because we got to sing here tomorrow. So we're rehearsing tonight.
James is trolling. James is trolling. Like, stop. I keep telling him this.
I'm like, he's selling tambourines.
Yes.
James Black is trolling, and that's it.
No.
He said you still hustling.
He's trolling. That's it. James Black is trolling.
Exactly. Always. But you're right though. It is a business. It is definitely a business. Some people just don't get an understanding of that. And I think that with the Huddle, I'm actually able to kind of bring people in to tell them certain things, teach them certain things. I would say this, you know, I am grateful for, you know, you mentioned Gerald Isaac. I'm grateful for Gerald, the business that he's done for me throughout the years I I think that you should definitely have somebody in your corner that literally can help you, guide you through this, because then you won't be so bitter and be so upset about things that don't go your go your way. You know.
That's right. But you know, this is the only thing I would add is that there, you know, we call it business, but there's a ministry aspect in this, and what you have to navigate is that tension. You have to navigate that, and in some decisions you have to do it for ministry's sake, and it's not a good business decision, but it's ministry, and sometimes it's a business decision. But navigating that is the anointing that I think God will put on you, so you'll do it the right way.
And there are I think the thing that is hardest for me is to deal with the things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not only with business, that's with life. And I think that's what you've been sharing with us. Sometimes things come in your life, come in your business, come with your health, whatever that seem out of your control. But the one who is in control is Jesus Christ himself. And that's what we have to keep remembering. So we're so glad to have had you today on the show.
Yeah.
It went by fast.
Definitely. I'm so glad. Definitely. I miss y'all. I miss y'all so much.
Well, call sometime.
The one thing I love about these sessions and these conversations is that I learn so much about our guests, and and that I said, man, I should have taken time to really
I think that's something to learn.
But it forces us to really get to know behind, just not with the up front. We try to get to know you in a real personal way, and I really appreciate that, and that's what this means to me. And
I love it. It's a beautiful platform, an incredible platform. And it's another thing that I would just say that you guys were trailblazers with what you did, and this is another thing that you guys are doing. That's like, oh, this is pretty dope that you guys are doing this. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, we don't get to have these kind of conversations and do these kind of things. So it's like to share our stories, and everybody doesn't have those platforms or get on these platforms that everybody So I really am grateful for this opportunity to share. I got my COVID test. I got my COVID test. I got my vaccine. I'll get my mask, and I'm gonna come and be in a TikTok video with y'all at some point before the year is out.
I'm serious. We're serious about that.
Listen, y'all think I'm joking? I'm gonna come out there and be in a video with y'all.
Deon, I'm very serious about the choreography, so I need you to come. Know your dance steps.
I see you be letting them have it. Like, no, you got to do it like this.
Listen, they're so over.
Sometimes what you don't see is I'm like this.
And I'm like, no,
I can't do it anymore. I don't care. I'm tired.
Do it again. Then by the tip, I've got this video I gotta post where my parents are like, they walked away. They're concerned that they might spank me. There's a conflict of age, and like she trying to tell me what to do.
But we're gonna be praying for you.
Thank you.
Pray for us. Can't wait to see you again. Your boy Jay Black always
on here.
Has something to say.
And Lewis just told me to tell you, say hi, auntie. He told me to tell my auntie.
He texted me too. He was like, small world. I was like,
So, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, so much.
And we're going to be getting back with you soon. Call us anytime.
I will.
And, let us know what's going on. But we have been praying and supporting that way, and we will get behind the huddle and all that. You can come on when it's released. We have a little afterglow we're going to be doing so people can talk about what they're doing and their concerts and things like that. Use us.
Definitely.
Use us. So.
I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
Love you too.
God bless, man.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
Hello, what's up?
Thank you so much for watching Carfitable Talks.
Thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
leave some comments. We really need to hear from you.
Thank you.